Narottam Vilas Prabhu. Yes, we are starting now. You
Yes,
can go
Prabhuji.
live.
Yes, we are already live, Prabhu. So we can start whenever you're ready. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Perfect.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining us for Appearance of Srila Prabhupada Celebration Day. So normally we'd all be here, but we're doing it online. Some of us are here on temple because otherwise it's not going to be able to do it. So bear with us. We're kind of using the patchwork technology right now, where the iPhone, and the mic next to it, etc. So the plan is we'll say Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and do Pushpanjali here. And then those of you that are at home, if you want to, I'll give you like 2 minutes to go run and get some flowers. And you can offer flowers to Srila Prabhupada on your video phone, kind of like we're doing for the Rath Yatra virtual. So I'll give you 2 minutes for them. I'm just going to take the responsible, and then you guys can all offer. Let's see if you want to pick up your thing so you can move more comfortably. Should leave the table over. Yep. Not to raise the awful. Get all that. Okay, one more minute. You want to do art? Or you okay, it's 2 minutes, so we'll just do Pushpanjali. I'll just say the Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, and you all can say it offline or online, and then offer flowers. Then when we say Isha Pushpanjali, we'll do it 3 times. We'll just recite Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantra rather than the entire group for nothing. So what we'll do is I'll say the first 2 words and then you can repeat them. Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupustaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Itinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasutaya Desha Karane Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupustaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashuta Vishutarane Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupustaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashuta Vishutarane Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali. I think we'll sing Guru Puja. We'll transfer the mic to a stand and then we will stand on Guru Vandana. So we have to stand.
Jaya Prabhupada, Shri Guru Charana Kevala Bhakti Sabha Kevala Bhakti Sabha Mandamoi Sabha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for bearing with us while we try to do this online. So next in the process is we'll read the words to Shri Guru Vandan, written by Srila Prabhupada. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional state. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus feet. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes, fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and Master of the living. O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the free world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Divine grace relates with Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all very much. So now is the time where we can start sharing realizations. And since I'm at the temple and don't have my laptop, not the last Prabhu, we want to have devotees, whoever wants to take realization can do so. And then 7:30 will be Arati or Arati, and Papa Michelle is here, and then if there are more devotees that want to share realization, 8, we can go to 8:30. So this is a full hour for realization. So now the last Prabhu, are you accessible? We're communicating this with the last Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. Harisha Prabhuji, can you hear me? Yeah, Prabhu, your voice is actually muffled, Prabhu.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and start having devotees share realization?
Sure, Prabhuji. The mic is unmuted, Prabhu, and devotees who want to share the realizations can unmute themselves and then speak.
Yes, yes, they can start. They start sharing realizations. Okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji, yes. Prabhu, your voice is very clear now, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, as Prabhu mentioned, feel free or kindly unmute yourself if you want to speak first and share realizations or show the gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Please feel free to unmute yourself and then share the realization. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So since I think it's turning on right now, I'll start. I'll blink the eyes, so to say. So Namo Shivaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavati Paschatya Desharine. Mukam Kroti Vachalam Pangolangayati Grim Rit Kripatamam Mande Shri Guru Diratarnam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So it's I remember the last time, last year, we celebrated Srila Prabhupada's appearance day in temple, and I was just thinking about the span between last year and it's the span of 1 year, what changed, and how Srila Prabhupada has and his teachings has affected me, or what's say growth. Because of his teachings, by reading his books, this COVID situation kind of was a conducive environment to go deeper and to read more books, to engage consistently, which I was not doing before. Reading Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and so many literatures Prabhupada has given. It's a treasure house. As Mahaprabhu mentioned, Golokera Premadhana Hare Rama Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu got it from, or just broke the storehouse, and Sri Prabhupada gave it to all of us. And I wouldn't be anywhere near anything like this without the mercy of Sri Prabhupada. He has given us everything, and I'm so much indebted to him. I can't repay. I can't never repay for what he has done. I've seen his videos. I've shared a video in the group as well. Love for Srila Prabhupada, that the poem which was sung, it is so beautiful. Just here, just see Prabhupada's face, that smile itself is enough to, just vanquish the stress we have for the whole day. Just seeing Srila Prabhupada's face itself is a beautiful smile. The books he had written, sleeping for 2 hours, 2 hours a day, he wrote, he left Vrindavan for us. And the only way we can repay in any way is by reading his books and imbibing those teachings in our life and follow Srila Prabhupada, because he has a back door to the spiritual world. And Prabhupada said, just catch hold of my dhoti and I will take you back. So we have to do everything possible to catch hold of his dhoti. And as Krishna mentions, as Acharya has mentioned, when we try to hold on with our energy or our strength, it's not enough. Krishna, we have to hold Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and they will pull us out. So just catch hold of the dhoti and Prabhupada will catch us. And this, that's the only way. There's no other way. Naste. We cannot go back to the spiritual world. We cannot go back to Krishna or wherever he wants without the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for all the devotees. Thank you so much to all the devotees who have given me this opportunity to be with you. For you all are following Srila Prabhupada's teachings. I'm not. So I hope that I can be in association more and imbibe his teachings so I can make little bit of progress in spiritual life. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Narottama Vilasparu. Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, on this occasion, I would like to take a few minutes to show my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. And I would like to speak a few words of showing my gratitude. So, I would like to start off by saying that when we all know that Prabhupada came to the West and he had so many struggles along the way. We know that Prabhupada, he was very old and he had health problems. But other than that, he also had so many financial problems. He had so many other problems that was happening. He was cheated. He didn't know where to live. He didn't find land. He wasn't very successful in the beginning. But eventually he made devotees and he found his success. And another thing that I would like to say was, even though Prabhupada was very successful, he didn't take any credit for his success at all. He always gave his credit to his spiritual master, and we need to take the quality that Prabhupada was very humble. He never took any credit for his success. He gave it all to his spiritual master, and he completely always wanted to keep going. Although Prabhupada was 75 years old by then, this is like the age where everyone would like retire and they would be like very tired and didn't want to do all of this. But that's when Prabhupada first started his mission. He traveled all over the world, very old, with very little money, and he did so much. And Prabhupada was already such an elevated devotee. He grew up in a devotee family. He was so spiritual. He went to the temples. He took initiation, second initiation. He was a sannyasi. He was already very elevated devotee. So the reason Prabhupada preached all over the world was because there was fallen souls like us who were in this material world and they didn't know what to do. Everyone was just simply enjoying their material life. And if any of us were here today, it's because Srila Prabhupada brought that knowledge that he had as such an elevated devotee, and he spread it to everyone. I know personally I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking this if Srila Prabhupada hadn't given us the knowledge about Krishna consciousness, and I wouldn't know what to do with my life either. And other than Prabhupada being such an elevated devotee, we can learn so many life lessons from so many qualities. He was so determined. He had so much passion in what he was doing. And most importantly, he always depended on Krishna. Whenever he was in struggles, there were so many times where he had so many problems, and he always depended on Krishna. And even in our life, since Prabhupada did so much for us, we can continue this mission from Srila Prabhupada, and we can also, as like the future generation, we can spread Krishna consciousness. And if there's any struggles along the way, I know Srila Prabhupada and Shri Krishna are going to be looking over me and will help me in whatever way I can. So I would like to thank Srila Prabhupada for giving me this opportunity of Krishna consciousness, and I would like to hope that I can continue or maybe show some of my gratitude by continuing his mission that he worked very hard in. So Hare Krishna, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nandita. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna,
Dushita, Hare
I
Krishna.
go.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, everyone. On this auspicious event, on the appearance day of His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, I'd like to take a few minutes to express my gratitude to His Divine Grace for just availing His mercy and many opportunities for many devotees, for many people in the world, directly and indirectly. For the past 50 or so years, Rath Yatras have been happening in so many cities around the world, whether it be large or small scale. And you see the people on the side just watching and staring at us, but they also receive the benefits by just taking darshan of the deities Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, by receiving prasad, like a fruit or like a little bowl of prasad, along with the devotees who are doing service, who are organizing this mass festival. And this wouldn't have been done if Srila Prabhupada didn't put in the effort to start or organize this huge mass festival. And one thing I learned from this is whatever he did or thought about, it was for more than the ISKCON community. Whatever he did, it was to help everyone, whether it be within the ISKCON movement or not, those who weren't. Even the Sunday Love Feast was started to encourage others not only to come to the temple to feast, but also to give them a glimpse of the love and warm-heartedness the ISKCON community had to offer. And this could have only been done by the example Srila Prabhupada held. And Prabhupada did much more. Just seeing what he's done for the greater community conveys that those who are part of Srila Prabhupada's community, Srila Prabhupada's family, Prabhupada's left us with much more. His books, many temples around the world, the regulations to do deity service, a platform to do Hari Katha, a kitchen to cook for the Lords, temple to serve the Vaishnava and those visiting, his own example to clear the Lord's temple, his space, his altar. He gave us festivals, temple programs to connect with devotees and perform kirtan. And there's so much more Srila Prabhupada did. Like it would take more than a day to explain what he did. And now there are many kirtan fests happening around the world where devotees can dive into kirtan, feel rejuvenated, feel empowered, and also meet new devotees and connect with other devotees from other congregations. And all of this now wouldn't be possible if Prabhupada wasn't an inspiration. He was an inspiration for many devotees and still now is an inspiration. And the reason I'm also sitting here, as something you mentioned, is because of Srila Prabhupada's kind mercy. And I pray to Srila Prabhupada that I can serve and that I can please engage me in any service I can do and help carry this movement forward. So thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for everything you've done. Please bless me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Dushita. Thank you so much. So, devotees who wished or were going to speak or give the realization, please announce your name first so that everyone knows who are watching live as well.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Aniruddha. So happy Prabhupada Appearance Day. I want to thank Prabhupada for everything he's done, because if he didn't do that, then I wouldn't be here, like something he said. And Prabhupada was very determined. He didn't just give up, like if they didn't give him a contract. And at one time he went to Bombay and he was at a Juhu beach, and so he thought it was a very nice place to have a temple. So he found out who the owner was. It was a Mr. N.
So he met Mr. N at their house and they signed a contract. But while they were paying it, Mr. N, he said that there was no such deal on how much they were paying and he wanted more money. So he filed a case, but Prabhupada, he didn't give up. It went for 2 years and then they met again and then they tried making another deal, but Mr. N didn't like it, so he just left. And then after 2 weeks, they found out that Mr. N got a heart attack and died. But Mrs. N, Mr. N's wife, she didn't give up yet, and she caused many troubles for the devotees, such as one time they had a temporary temple on the land, and she went to a municipality officer and she convinced him to try demolishing the temple. So the municipality officer, he got his crew and they started destroying the temple. The police officers, they were taking all the devotees away so that they wouldn't prevent it. And then when the news got to the head official, he said that he never gave any permission. So right before they were right before they demolished the DT shed, the news got there was a messenger and he said that they should stop. So the place was saved. And then finally, after some time of consultation, Mrs. N, she said that she was sick, but one of Prabhupada's disciples said that if she didn't come that day, then the whole thing would go on for another year. So she came and she signed the contract, and then they got the Juhu land. And even after 3 or 4 years, Prabhupada didn't give up. He wanted it so bad because he knew that it would be like a very wonderful place for a temple and for the Lord to live. And once again, I want to thank Prabhupada for everything he's done. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ananda. Tulsi is next. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, happy Srila Prabhupada's Appearance Day. I'd like to, I guess I'll start with a confession at least. Sometimes it's hard for me to connect to Krishna in the sense that people say like, oh, remember Krishna is always with you and he's a friend of yours and he's always walking with you. And I've definitely tried to live my life thinking of it that way. But sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. So I've always thought of, if I can't really directly communicate with Krishna, then why not Srila Prabhupada? He's living in all of his books. I can feel, I can trace his words in his books. I can hear his voice. I can hear his kirtans and bhajans that he's so wonderfully recorded for us. I can meet him through all of his disciples, all the Maharajas and all the other devotees, senior devotees in our movement. And sometimes even like when the days get really bad, I'll write Srila Prabhupada a letter simply because it's easier for me to tell him about all the things that are going on in my life. And immediately after I finish a letter, and I'll go to sleep that night, and it just, everything that I've ever had an issue with will just automatically disappear. And so I've always appreciated that about Srila Prabhupada, is that he just so wonderfully, somehow magically gives you the opportunity to express yourself, and he'll respond in a way that you didn't really expect. And even though Krishna is always there to help us out, I feel like Srila Prabhupada is just as magnanimous and merciful, and he gave us such a matchless gift. I'm so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving me something that's become incredibly close to my heart, and in one way is what my life is and what it will always be, as I hope. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tulsi, thank you so much. As you said, devotees are much more merciful than Krishna himself. And Srila Prabhupada is more merciful. He brought out Krishna's mercy more to us than Krishna himself. Thank you so much. who would like to go next? Kindly unmute yourself and then. Anybody would like to share the realization?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If everybody's okay, can I go next?
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Yeah, Prabhu, please can later state your name, Prabhu, so we can know, Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhuji, I'm actually traveling, so camera might distort. The
No,
area has
no
weak
problem. Yeah, no
Wi-Fi.
problem, Prabhu. We have Srila Prabhupada's spotlight on. So yeah, just let your name know. We can know your name, and devotees online can know who's.
Jai. Yes, definitely. This is Rohini Kishore Das, and I'm here to speak on behalf of my family. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauruvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So on this very auspicious occasion of the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, also it being Nandutsav, I, on behalf of my family, would like to express my sincerest and deepest gratitude for the blessings that we have received by being part of the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Srila Prabhupada became an instrument of to bring to the West. And Shamaras and myself were talking today about the purposes for which the institution that Srila Prabhupada has brought. So as for my own purification, I'd like to read those out here. So there are various purposes for which Srila Prabhupada had established this institution, and they're as follows: to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. Then it says to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as it is revealed in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And then to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, and thus to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Next, to teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of Krishna as revealed in the teachings of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then to bring the members closer together for the purposes of teaching a simpler and more natural way of life. And finally, with the view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings. So this was the set of instructions that were written, the purposes for which the institution was founded in 1966. So on this very auspicious occasion of the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, it's good to remind ourselves the purposes for which he had worked so hard. And we being members of the institution itself, we will always try to do our best, and we pray to His Divine Grace Srila Abhayacharna Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada that we always remain sincere to the mission, that we always strive and struggle to do our best in executing our fundamental duties when we are executing devotional service, and that service that we put in is pleasing Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. That is our prayer on this very day. And just as we know, yesterday we celebrated Janmashtami Utsav. So during Janmashtami, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he gives gifts, and gifts include cows donated in charity to the Brahmanas and many other individuals in the village. And that was his gift given through Nanda Maharaj on that particular day. Now, Krishna is very merciful. The very next day, Nanda Maharaj did a Nandutsav, welcoming Krishna again, very in jubilation, in celebration. And on that day, which is today, happens to be the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So the gift to the whole world was Srila Prabhupada from Sri Krishna to spread the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mission that we just spoke about, the 7 purposes of ISKCON. And we, as individuals connected to Srila Prabhupada's mission from wherever we dwell, whichever culture, creed we come from, we are united under that one bond of uh, bhakti that the Supreme Lord has asked us to follow, the bhakti process. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for the cooperation and collaboration that has been there in the mission. And there might be shortfalls here and there. Definitely it's bound to come. When the institution gets bigger, shortfalls do happen. But that doesn't mean that we fall apart. No, it's just an occasion to improve upon and to come up stronger than ever. So I pray. Sorry, Prabhu.
Please continue, Prabhu. You just said the Gaurati is starting, Prabhu. So just to let you know, Prabhu. Gaurati started, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I pray at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada that he bless us to continue our devotional service and practices in a manner pleasing to the Vaishnava, Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much. Your servants, Rohini Kishore Das, Shama Ras Devi Dasi, Radhika Priya, Hari Bhakti Devi Dasi, and Raseshwar. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So we'll have Gaurati right now.
Shiva Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Sobha Aratika Sobha Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aratika Sobha Anabhitatavane Jagamanalobha Anabhitatavane Jagamanalobha Nenitai Amen Gadadhara Nenitai Amen Gadadhara Nikate Adaita Asa Chakradhara Vasa Chakradhara Ki Babasi Achi
Gora Chan Ratna Simhasani Arati Kare Naam Adi Devagane Arati Kare Naam Adi Devagane Shivanarari Adi Kare Shamaradulaya Adi Kore Shamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Pasi Gosadi Gaya Sanjaya Mukunda Pasi Gosadi Gaya Shiva Baje Ghanta baje baje kartal baje ghanta baje baje kartal Madhuram Ganga Paramarasala Baje Ganda Baje Madhur Madhur Baje Shankha baje, ghanta baje, madhur, madhur, madhur baje. Madhur, madhur, madhur baje. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo. Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujala Gala dese vanamana Hare Janamala Hare Janamala Shiva Sukha Narada Premaya Radha Radha Krishna Kativen Bhagavate Dara Sampada Radha Sampada Gaurange Arati Sobha Jagarana Manova Gaurange Arati Sobha Jaganamana Lobha Arati Sobha Jaganamana Lobha Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Etai Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhisesa Sunyavadir Paschatadesa Sarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhisesa Sunyavade Paschatadesa Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sriyata Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Nitya Shakti Nandana, Jaya Sajanandana, Jaya Shakti Nandana, Rahari, Jaya Nitya Shakti Nandana, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo.
Jayam Vishnupat Parhamsa Parvitacharya Stotra Satra Jayankash Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupat Parhamsa Parvitacharya Stotra Satra Jayankash Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Param Shri Sadhu Goswami ki Jai. Shri Anand Ki Vaishvin ki Jai. Shri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय। श्री गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। श्री तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री बृहद मर्दन की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। Shri Shinitai Satchidananda Dev ki jai. Shri Shinitai Satchidananda Dev ki jai. Shri Shinitai Satchidananda Dev ki jai. Shri Prahlad Maharaj Lord Nrsimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. All glory assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glory assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glory assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, Shri Guru and Garanga, all glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Appearance Day of Srila Prabhupada, Pandacharya, ISKCON ki jai. Thank you very much. Now Tulsi will sing Nrsimha Dev prayers, and then once that's done, we'll revert back to devotees sharing realization. Please let Narottama Das Thakur know if, I'm sorry, please let Narottama Vilas Prabhuji know if you want to share so that we have budgeted time. Thank you. You can let him know via the chat window. Thank you.
Namaste
Thank you very much, Tulsi. So we're now going to resume realizations or sharing of realizations. So please let Narottama Vilas Prabhu know via chat that you want to share realizations so you can budget time. But we do want you all to have an opportunity to express appreciation to Srila Prabhupada. Narottama Vilas Prabhu, are you back online?
Yes, Prabhuji. So we have Madhuri Prabhu with expressive desire to share realization. Madhuri Prabhu, please.
Excuse me, we're having a tough time in the temple hearing.
So yeah, we have Madhuri Prabhu who would like to share his realization, Prabhuji.
Good, okay. Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna.
The curtain will close as usual at 8:30.
Yes, so
Please, Purna.
if other senior devotees would like to go first, Jai Sachinanda Prabhu, if you would like to share, then is it? Can you hear me, Haribol?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you, Prabhu.
No, I was wondering.
I think Prabhu, you can go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakrunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarane. So, I want to wish all the devotees a happy appearance day of our Param Guru Srila Prabhupada. The appearance day of the spiritual master is a joyous occasion for all devotees. The prayer that we just chanted, Om Ajnana Timirandasya, because we are all born in the darkness of ignorance, and the spiritual master opens our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. We cannot express enough gratitude to the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada is the Shiksha Guru, or the instructing Guru for all members of ISKCON. And there is no difference between the Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. And so we are all indebted. I am especially indebted to Srila Prabhupada for at least at least giving the knowledge of Krishna in no uncertain terms. In reading Srila Prabhupada's purports, his writings, it is very clear. There is no ambiguity. It is very clear, and it is amazing. I mean, one can actually study how to write just by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and it is amazing. And also, with the recent crisis that is going on, many people are affected, and in a lot of negative things are going. But one positive thing that is also going is devotees are very resourceful, and they are utilizing the principle of Yukta Vairagya, that is utilizing everything in the service of the Lord, including technology, like the Zoom meetings, or having daily Bhagavatam class discussion about spiritual topics. This was not there when this coronavirus crisis was there. I mean, we were all going to our work, we were busy with that, and this was not happening. And somehow, by Krishna's arrangements, this facility for hearing has been made possible. And so, yes, there are many people who are affected in a material way and also emotionally with the whole crisis. But we can take shelter of the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And those words makes much more sense when we are going through a crisis. There is that realization that comes. And I recently I read some purports of Srila Prabhupada, and it was very touching and very instructive. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport to Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse number 44. So in the purport, he says the statement. It is very interesting and very instructive for me. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. And he goes on to say, one should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Such a powerful statement, and it is very instructive to me, because after many years of being a so-called devotee, if we are not feeling that taste, like me, I am not feeling that taste, I can see what is the problem, because I'm not pure in action, I'm not pure in all my activities. That's why I cannot hear with rapt attention. And if I cannot hear with rapt attention, I cannot realize anything. And Srila Prabhupada is pointing out what is the deficiency. And in another verse, he says, that is Canto 1, Chapter 4, verse number 1, in the purport, he says, personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya. And at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. So this is the mood of a devotee. A devotee at no point thinks he is better. And these are all very instructive. And my mother always says, like, you don't realize the value of the eye when you can see. When you lose the eye, that's when you realize its value. Similarly, in the association, when I had the opportunity to associate with the devotees in person and also render services in the temple, I didn't realize its value. Now that those are taken away, I am appreciating it, or I am at least getting a glimpse of appreciation. And I'm longing for the day when we can all be in the presence, physical presence of each other. We can serve together the lordships. And every day that longing is increasing. And maybe it's Krishna's arrangement to instill that. It is a way of teaching us. But I am thankful for Srila Prabhupada to giving his wonderful words, and giving the association of his devotees who are always merciful. And on this day, I want to thank Srila Prabhupada and also seek forgiveness from all devotees for all offenses I have committed. And also encourage all devotees to, we should always encourage each other. It's like if we are working on something, if there are like 5 people working with us, we will feel much more encouraged. So devotional life is like that. When we do it in association, either virtual or in presence, in physical presence, it is much more, I would say, engaging. So thank you all the devotees, and also thank you Srila Prabhupada for creating this facility. In India, they erect statues of great people. And once a year on their birthday, they will come and put some flowers on the person. Like in Gandhi's, you can find statues of Gandhi everywhere. But Srila Prabhupada instituted a system whereby we have an opportunity to thank our spiritual master every day. So I'm thankful to Srila Prabhupada for that. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful, beautiful realization you shared. Are there any other devotees who would like to share their realizations? Please don't be shy. This is a very golden opportunity. Acharyas say that, the senior devotees say that during the appearance and disappearance of personalities, you can directly approach them. And Prabhupada is already approachable, and he's listening. So please kindly don't feel shy. Please come here and share a heartfelt appreciation for our beloved Srila Prabhupada. Even if it's just a thank you, that's it, just your appreciation. Yes, Param Prabhu, please kindly go ahead, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, I hope you can hear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank Srila Prabhupada for giving us, first of all, this worldwide institution. Wherever we go, we can find a home of devotees under his shelter, under his care. And the other thing that I am really, my heart is very filled with gratitude for Srila Prabhupada is for his books. There are so many things we can say about Srila Prabhupada as the greatest gift to us But right now, I would like to say that his greatest gift to us are his books. And such wonderfully written. I have somehow or the other picked up the habit of, whenever I go to a bookstore, I go to the religious section and I try to see what various copies of Bhagavad Gita are there, various commentaries. And I pick them up and I try to read them, see what is there in them, what they have written. And just the whole presentation that Srila Prabhupada has made in his Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is none different than the presentation in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, such huge voluminous works. Everything so meticulously laid down, word by word translation, the verses in the local Devanagari script or Bengali in Chaitanya Charitamrita maybe, and translation, commentary or purport as we call it, is just unmatched. I have never seen any other presentation of Bhagavad Gita like this. And he had the vision to do it 50 years or 60 years ago when he first wrote the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And I just feel he was a acharya. He's definitely a acharya, but if in worldly terms, he was a man ahead of his time. There's absolutely no one who has written such a wonderful rendition, such a wonderful presentation of the Bhagavad Gita. And of course, true to its purpose as it is, as Lord Krishna intended it to be. That part is definitely there, but just the whole presentation is just so thought out. And how he could do that without any publisher advising him, without anything, just from his intelligence, of course, guided by Lord Krishna himself, is just amazing. I just am filled with awe and reverence and respect for Srila Prabhupada. I'm just so thankful to have received his gift of his books, and I just pray that I continue to keep reading them and never be disassociated with his writings. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhupada Prabhu. Thank you so much for your heartfelt realizations. Would any other devotee like to share the realization? As I mentioned, please don't feel shy. How would you appreciate your father? This is exactly like that, appreciating our spiritual father, grandfather. Yeah. It doesn't have to be elaborate, anything. Hare Krishna, Ujjwal Prabhu. We can't hear you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, yes, we can hear you now, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, all the devotees have expressed their love for Prabhupada. Actually, I thought of preparing, but actually it should come from the heart. So basically, you all have a very nice heart for Srila Prabhupada, and because my heart is so contaminated that I cannot even say good words about Prabhupada. That's my situation. Even to thank him, we should have some pure heart. We should be in mode of goodness. So I basically lack that a lot. So by seeing all of you, I felt like whatever you are all saying, from the kids to all the elderly people here in ISKCON congregation, I've been speaking about Srila Prabhupada and his wonders and the way he has cultivated so many devotees across the world. So whenever I hear, like in Bhakti Ruksha, wherever everybody used to say Prabhupada has come here at the age of 69, And that is the age of retirement, like Sandini was saying. It is a time to retire. But Prabhupada has come all the way here at the age of 69 with so much faith in his Guru and Krishna. And if you see, like he had like 2 heart attacks in the ship, cargo ship. He has 2 heart attacks, major heart attack. Krishna saved him, and the ship, whoever is the crew of the ship, they said that the boat was, they were riding in a very smooth ride on the Pacific Ocean, whichever ocean he was traveling through. And they wanted Prabhupada to come again with them to board again to the ship so that they will have a smooth ride. So that they have understood Prabhupada. When they were just traveling, he is just coming in a cargo. It's like no facilities, so much of sickness, like seasickness. But still, Prabhupada, I really wonder how he could do that. Just because of the word of the spiritual master, how can so a person can do like that? Even we cannot even fly from one place to another, with so much of visas, passports, some amount in your hand. So still we can't. We take so many instructions. We have so many groups. How can you bring my parents here? How to do like visa? So many things are there. What to do if I go to other world, somewhere else in another place in the world? We take so much precautions. But Prabhupada, just with his spiritual master's word and faith in Krishna, he just came with just 40 rupees in his hand and 1 Bhagavad Gita. So I was always wondering how it could come. So, and initially I used to think whenever we got introduced, Krishna Keshav Prabhu used to conduct, and Maharaj Romapal Swami used to come to Corvallis. I used to think, why should we believe in this Bengali tradition? Because we are from South India, we are most connected to Sri Sampradaya. And the aratis we do, all the mantras we do, they're all different. They're like ear touching and so much of Sanskrit involved. And in this ISKCON tradition, we have different kind of arati. So I used to think, why should I be connected to this Sampradaya? That was this was struggle actually in the initial days. Like I used to discuss a lot with Krishna Keshav Prabhu also. And slowly I realized, like the American bodies, Srila Romapal Swami used to come. Every time he comes to Portland or Seattle, he used to come to Corvallis. He used to drive all the way from Seattle to Portland, Portland to Corvallis. I used to understand, why should we, we have so many South Indian scholars and acharyas. I have been associated to them. And I used to understand, why should I really connect to these people? So slowly I realized, this is like Krishna sends their representatives across the world. We are not qualified to be a disciple, but Krishna chooses the who can do a sacrifice, who can make the world change. So this is about change of heart. And we could see so many devotees from Western world, they're all spiritual masters. And how much sacrifice they have done. They left their families, they took renounced order of life, and they're preaching. What could Prabhupada have done? He gave to Western world, he was around 11 years. He's traveled around the world, and he changes so many thousands of people's heart. And they are changing, trying to change the heart of all the fallen souls. This is a wonder, actually. We have 8 wonders, like this is the 9th wonder. Prabhupada, how can an old person, I was listening to so many of his interviews on the YouTube. I was wondering how he could so straightforwardly speak. And he conquered scientists, he argued with scientists, he gave them the solutions. And he matched Paramakarna Prabhu saying like he's an institutionalized everything. My books are his basis. So how can a person alone can do this? So whenever we talk about any country's prime minister or somebody, oh, he has achieved. So he has so much of like manpower who can do, and he can somehow mobilize money, he can cheat people. Something they can do, they can talk, all the politicians, they can win the hearts of the people, maybe for 1 term, 2 terms. How can Prabhupada, like, has thousands of devotees, everybody are ready to sacrifice anything they want, like they're ready to give up their life to the propagation of the holy name for Prabhupada's instructions. They seriously follow, and they have left their families and they become sannyasis and brahmacharis and sannyasis. So there is some extraordinary power in Srila Prabhupada because he's a pure soul. He could give so much he has given, like so many, all the kids are saying like without Srila Prabhupada we would not have been here. We were not even able to chant. We don't know. We know Bhagavad Gita. We have been hearing, we have been listening, but we never took it seriously. So Prabhupada, we cannot end with Prabhupada by saying like few words. Like as Prabhuji, the Madhav Hari Prabhu is saying, we have to do every day. Every day we have to remember him. Every day we have to think about Prabhupada. Every day we have to see the sacrifices of Srila Prabhupada. Because he is to write, because when he knows that he may be leaving his body, so he used to spend more hours till 2 o'clock in the night to write, give the information, like give us that knowledge in the form of books. So Prabhupada is, we cannot just offer a flower, just say thanks Prabhupada. We have to do something. I think we have to like dive into this ocean and propagate his holy name. Of course, I'm not qualified to do so. There are so many qualified people, but I can assist in those endeavors people want to make. So Prabhupada is a mission. He is an institution. He is a servant, beloved servant of the Lord. So if I'm thinking more about him, literally I'm getting emotional. So I will end here, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ujjwal Prabhu, for that heartfelt and kind and wonderful realization from your heart. Thank you so much. Mansi Ganga Mataji, please, Mataji, you can go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Pudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kalapa Srivasadi Gopakunda Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. I just have a very quick note just to say thank you to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada, for your limitless mercy to your disciples, whom I am able to have association in person in my life, which is kind of material proof that you are such a pure and kind in showering mercy to your disciples, which can flow through like a rainfall. By this direct or indirect association, many souls like me are fortunate to taste this higher taste or goal of a human life as such through simple process that you have given to us, and which we are able to get through your disciples. And thank you so much, Prabhupada. There are no other words to praise the Prabhupada, but I am very happy and fortunate to follow on your path. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mataji, thank you so much for your realization. We have Abhimanyu Prabhu. Would like to go ahead, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everybody. So I think I'm too fallen to even say, thank you to Prabhupada. I mean, he was a representative of God, and I am nowhere. I just want to thank him. One thing which I clearly see is the family he created world over, which just embraces us, fallen souls. So I came 3 years back, was Janmashtami was the first time I came to ISKCON Portland, and I just came as I go to other temples, just come have darshan, have prasad and go. But that day, a family just, embraced us, and that just brought it into this family. So I remember even Hari Prasad Prabhu during one of the classes was saying this amazing family is created. For me, this is the immediate thing which really impacts us. And now I humbly say to everybody that this is the family I have in Portland and in the US. I mean, I don't have really immediate family members in US, unlike many of our other devotees. For me, this is the family, and they embrace us so well. I can talk to devotees knowing their thought process, seeing how humble they are. For me, this is what it is. So he's amazing. Of course, he's done so many other things which all other devotees, senior devotees have told before me. But this humble attitude of the devotees, which comes from people associating with his devotees, which comes from people who have, read his books. So creating this family is the most important thing which really impacted me and my family. So thank you, Prabhupada, for this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abhimanyu Prabhu. Madhusudan Prabhu, would like to share your realization, Prabhuji. Madhusudan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
I will make it quick, Prabhuji. On this auspicious day, on the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, I just want to say thank you, Srila Prabhupada, and like to offer all my respect and so my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for sharing or giving us this wonderful family where we could at least think of receiving the mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I personally had never heard even the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before coming to his community, ISKCON community. Thank you for giving us this wonderful family, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Would any other devotee would like to share the realizations?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I am nowhere in no position to say anything about Srila Prabhupada, but I'll say only one thing, that he has made a home for us away from home. So, wherever I go, I see the Bhakti Brikshas and ISKCON temple, and it has changed me as a person a lot. And I'm trying, I'm in very early stage, but I'm trying to follow his instructions. And so far, I don't know how much progress I have made, but I'm trying, and I'm really thankful and indebted to him to get association of his devotees. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Prabhu, thank you so much. Anyone else like to? Shri Ritaya Chande Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Vrinde Devi ki jai, Shri Goswami ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We can continue with the realizations. Devotees like to share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just wanted to add to what Abhimanyu said.
Sure,
Is my
Mataji.
hand? Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful for making our spiritual life so simple. He has, he has introduced Mahamantra again to us, and all he has asked us is to chant Krishna's name and be happy. So I feel that my life has become so simple and so easy to follow. So I am extremely thankful to Prabhupada ji to make our life, spiritual life, so simple and so easy.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. That's a precise, concise. Excellent. Thank you. Would any other devotee like to express their appreciation?
Hare Krishna. Would any of the devotee like to express their appreciation? It's 8:30.
I would like to.
Go ahead,
Hare
please.
Krishna. Can you
Hare
hear
Krishna.
me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Okay. I can't see the image, but I'll just go ahead and speak. This morning, I came across a quote from Srila Prabhupada. There was a scenery where he was had devotees all around him, and I think it was one of the memory tapes where the devotees shared their appreciation and their particular relationship they had with Srila Prabhupada. And he was answering a question, and he said, Krishna is all attractive. And when you fall in love with Krishna, and he's on your mind all the time, then when you come to know him, there is nothing else to be known. There is no other knowledge that you need to know. And it was just so striking in the way Prabhupada just has this way of saying something that it just hits you in a very powerful way. So we see in the literatures, especially in the Bhagavad Gita, he always talks about understanding Krishna. If we can understand Krishna, then we have the possibility of going back to the spiritual world. Because Krishna is saying, if you understand me, I take you as like my own self. So we can imagine how powerful that is as a particle of Krishna. We cannot understand the whole, but we can understand the essence. So I am very grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he created this structure, a social, spiritual, mental, emotional environment in which we all can reach the goal of life, to become Krishna conscious and go back home. That is what he says will please him most when people ask, what will please you most? Like his disciples asked that question at different times along the way. So he created this ISKCON society of Krishna consciousness so that we would have this structure, because he already knew what was coming in Kali Yuga. And it was a turn in a shift in consciousness going on when he landed here in New York. It was this whole counterculture revolution by the youth to move things in a different direction. So these were the people that Prabhupada was available to Prabhupada to be his men, so to speak, to carry out the work that he had to do. Now he has done 50% of it, and there's another 50% that is left to be done. And we are right now at a pivot in time where we can see another great shift that's taking place around us. And people are confused, they are fearful, they don't know what to do, but everybody is having their well, we could call it their Kurukshetra. We all have to face the things that we need to change. And so it has a very big impact for me that this looks so terrible, but on the other side, there is such a great opportunity for us to be here at this very point in time in Kali Yuga, when all the opportunities when things look so dark, there is such a brighter side on the other side. So Prabhupada says in the first article of his registration of ISKCON that the purpose of ISKCON is to spiritualize the society by giving spiritual education to the people in order to shift the balance of what is considered normal or what is considered the way in which society should be. So I'm just paraphrasing. And it's also to use techniques, spiritual techniques, to carry out this massive education that is needed so that we can help people to shift from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. It sounds like a big job, and it is. But what he's talking about is having us look, when I say us now, I'm talking about not only devotees, but people, all seekers of in any religious bona fide form, to see how they can contribute to setting up an environment in which we can thrive in this effort to become Krishna consciousness. We must have a social environment. We must have a platform that allows us to be able to thrive. And what he's talking about is simplifying our lives to the extent that we go back to the basics of our Varnashram Dharma. So I was able to really appreciate this earlier on when I had the chance to go to Gitanagari, and that was when I just was meeting devotees and just running around everywhere to listen and hear as many people as possible share the scriptures and their experience. And that was where Prabhupada was going to start Varnashram Dharma, simple living, and I'm going to teach you, he said, living off the land, having cows and homesteading, simple businesses that we don't have to depend on the material environment that we can see now is crumbling. Everything that people, was seeing as their security is falling apart. So he saw all this coming. So I am very conscious of something unfolding here that looks very difficult, but it is our opportunity especially to preach and to give comfort and solace and guidance to people, so that they can come out of the paralysis, that the fear that is, has been put into us, is holding people in place and they can't think. So I'm hopeful that we will be the people that will be Prabhupada's soldiers, spiritual warriors, to push the second part of his movement forward. And the ground is opening us for us to do that. That's what is present in my mind now, but like everyone has said, there is so much to appreciate about Srila Prabhupada. I see him as my grandfather. That's what I call him. And I'm grateful I have the opportunity to express something, a little bit, and hopeful it will be of some value to others.
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Mataji, thank you so much for sharing your realizations. Thank you. Would any other devotee like to share the realizations? Okay, Madhavi would like to say, yeah.
Hi Krishna, my name is Premarupa Madhavi Devi Dasi. I'm just borrowing actually realization I heard a devotee mention about Srila Prabhupada. So today, apart from being, I don't know how many of us have seen Abhay Charan series. I still remember seeing it as a child and how his mother was so engaged in the Janmashtami celebration and everything that she wasn't bothered that any day a wonderful soldier, a wonderful devotee of the Lord was to appear. And then soon after she gave birth to Prabhupada today. This day is also celebrated. One more family had rejoiced this day, and that was in Gokula. And the Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, they rejoiced this day because they came to know that they had a wonderful, beautiful little baby boy. So today is also celebrated as Nandotsav. And Nanda Maharaj, he gave out so many things in charity. And it's even said that Vasudeva, yesterday Narottam Vilas Prabhu was mentioning how Vasudeva, as soon as the Lord appeared, he offered 10,000, some places they even mentioned 10 million cows in charity, or 10 million cows in charity to different brahmanas and so forth. So everyone's rejoicing like this. So Krishna apparently thought that, oh, my fathers are giving so much out in charity. They're celebrating in such a pompous manner my appearance. Now even I want to give the world something extremely special. I wonder what I can give. And then from his treasure grew. He chose and he picked none other than Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and he presented him to the world on this auspicious day. So we are all eternally grateful for that in various degrees. I'm sure now we can see there are 25 families participating in the call, and then 10 other families participating through YouTube and Facebook. I'm sure every one of us have Srila Prabhupada touch our lives in one way or the other, through his books or through just chanting, through Nagar Sankirtan, through devotees association, through deity worship, through just eating prasad. We've heard how so-called famous people used to come just to the temple just to have prasad. So such a magnanimous system and umbrella Srila Prabhupada has created. We also heard how Srila Prabhupada contributed several things to this movement and has gifted humanity so many things. And we know that he was especially empowered by the Lord. Now, to be empowered by someone, you need to have a very good relationship with that person. So we can understand for sure that he had a very good relationship with Krishna, because as he used to read his own books, people used to ask him, why are you reading your own books? Didn't you write that? And then he used to say that, well, actually, I didn't write this. The Lord instructed me, the Lord wrote through me. That's what he used to say. So he had such a relationship with the Lord. Yet on Sri Rukmani Dwarakanath's deity installation, this is a very touching incident. He tells everybody, we have nothing to offer the Lord. If I may, I know it's 8:45. I'm thinking, should I read or not? Perhaps I can quickly read through these two paragraphs just so that I won't lose the mood and essence of Srila Prabhupada's words. So these are Srila Prabhupada's words. There is Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. He was talking with his deities. And Krishna, just like Madan Mohan, he was talking with Sanatana Goswami. Madan Mohana said, Sanatana Goswami at the time had no temple. He was hanging his deity on the tree. So Madan Mohan was talking with him. Sanatana, you're bringing me all these dry chapatis, and it is stale, and you don't even give me a little salt. How can I eat? And Sanatana Goswami said, Sir, where shall I go? Whatever I get, I offer you. You kindly accept. I cannot move, old man. You see, so Krishna had to eat that. Because the bhakta's offering, he cannot refuse. Yemam bhaktya prayachati. Real, that thing is bhakti. What you can offer to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. What have you got? What is your value? And what is the value of your things? It's nothing. Therefore, real thing is bhaktya. Real thing is your feeling. Krishna, kindly take it. I have no qualification. I am most rotten, fallen, but, and then Srila Prabhupada weeps. I have brought this thing for you. Please take. This will be accepted. This is the most important line. Don't be puffed up. Always be careful. You're dealing with Krishna. That is my request. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Supreme Personality of Godhead ki jai. ISKCON Bhaktamana Vrinda, Guru Vrinda ki jai. ISKCON Portland ki jai. All glories assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Kumar Prabhu is here and he'd like to speak something, if that's okay.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Hare Krishna devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for changing my life. And way back in 2017, I was literally thrown off the cliff like Prahlad Maharaj, and like Vishnu catching Prahlad below, I landed in the lap of ISKCON. So I'm very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for his teachings and the spread of Krishna consciousness worldwide. I see this growing, especially in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. People are using different modalities to communicate and constantly be in touch with each other. So again, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thankful again. Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to express my gratitude. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else?
I haven't got any messages, Prabhu, on chat.
Okay. May I say something?
Sure, Prabhu, please go ahead.
I'll make it quick. I'll just repeat from a very, this is Jai Sachin Das. Please accept my humble obeisance of Srila Prabhupada. Rojo Prabhu was contemplating what is it about Srila Prabhupada that empowered him to do all the things he did, spiritually and materially, for ISKCON and for Krishna consciousness. So a very famous, what I like to do is read the Vyas Pujas from the devotees, Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So B.P. Govinda Maharaj wrote this on Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. And he said, when I first met him, he's talking about Kinchana Das, Krishna Das Bhadraji Maharaj. He said, when I first met him, I looked at him and I didn't know what to say. And I said, Srila Kinchana Krishna Das Bhadraji Maharaj. And then he saw that I had a tape player in my hand. So B.P. Govinda Maharaj is speaking. And he said, and so without my having to say anything, Kinchana Krishna Das Bhadraji Maharaj, who was Srila Prabhupada's very very close god brother in Vrindavan, that without my having to say anything, he just closed his eyes and he started tapping his hands together and he sang his Mangal Charan before singing Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Then he started singing Hare Krishna mantra, and it was like going into another world. And if you want to hear more about that, you read and see Srila Prabhupada's disappearance videos or pastimes. A lot of devotees will talk about how there was an elderly gentleman, sannyasi, Babaji, who would come and that just chant the holy name, even though he saw Srila Prabhupada suffering so much physically, and that his chanting was out of this world. And this is from Krishna Maharaj, all these very senior devotees. So he was chanting so beautifully, it was like each syllable was drenched in bhav and praying. After about 20 minutes, he stopped, and then he looked at me, Bibi Govinda Maharaj, and he said, I would like to tell you something. I said, what is that? And he said that I'm an old man, and I have a lot of experience in this world. From my experience, I can honestly tell you that there has never been a greater acharya than your spiritual master. And when he said that, I became stunned because he was a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he looked up and he said, there has never been an acharya in history who has performed miracles like your spiritual master, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then he paused and he looked at me and he said, do you know why? I was so stunned, Bibi Govinda Maharaj said, I couldn't say anything. And then Maharaj said, because in history, there has never been a greater servant of Sri Krishna's holy name than your spiritual master. Because your spiritual master had so much absolute understanding of Sri Krishna's holy name and so much absolute faith in Sri Krishna's holy name that he personally carried Sri Krishna's holy name through the length and breadth of this world. Therefore, he's the greatest acharya who has ever existed. So, that's an amazing appreciation from, a very elevated associate of Srila Prabhupada. Second thing I wanted to read was from none other than Her Grace Yamuna Mataji, a very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. This is Yamuna Mataji settled in Oregon after a while with her god sister Dina Tarini Mataji, who many of you know. And because there were some challenges at that time, and they were requested to apparently leave the association of some devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said to her, you Westerners are so restless. And when we think about it, it's not just Westerners, us Easterners are also very restless. Why can't you remain in the same place? Stay where you are. We question, but Srila Prabhupada, they're saying that if we are not in ISKCON, we lose your blessings and cannot make advancement. So this is very instructive. Srila Prabhupada replied, ISKCON is where you're chanting the holy name. That is ISKCON. And then we said, meaning Dina Tarini Mataji and Yamuna Mataji, they're saying we don't have any association here and we're therefore in Maya. Srila Prabhupada replied, association can be 2 or 200. If you're 2 and compatible, you can become perfect in Krishna consciousness. If you're 200 and are not, then no one will make advancement. So, this is kind of echoing what Madhav Hari Prabhu was saying, that temples exist for us to chant and serve together. And we create the association we have. We cannot expect perfection, but we can accept that everybody's trying to say no to Maya in one way or another. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji says there are 2 types of devotees. There's the pure devotee and the potential pure devotee. Because even if you see everything wrong in a person, at least see the presence of Krishna in their heart. So then Yamuna Mataji went on to say, the closer we come to individually appreciating and honoring Srila Prabhupada's personal dealings with his disciples, the closer we'll come to his sense of completeness in Krishna consciousness, to his joyfulness, to his transcendently attractive nature. With great care, our service is to create a devotional environment where men, women, and children can thrive in Krishna consciousness, rendering service according to their desire and inclination. Our service is to empower others rather than inhibit service propensity in others. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to share that from 2 very advanced devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Puji. Thank you so much. for the amazing realization you just shared. Would any of the devotee like to share the realizations?
So I think if not, then we're going to close down the temple video cam if we may.